I'm Chris Williams from Cyclone Fanatic and a proud Iowa State graduate from the class of 2007. No one shows up like Iowa State fans.
And Cyclones support Cyclones on and off the field.
Your gift can provide scholarships to students, fund groundbreaking research. We could even drum up opportunities for the marching band. Visit MoveWhatMatters.com to learn how you can make an impact today.
Everyone, welcome back to the Cyclone Fanatic pregame show. I'm your host, Leah Nelson. Rob Gray will be joining me to kick off a busy day of Cyclone hoops. Today, we'll start with Iowa State men's basketball taking on Arizona State today at 1 p.m. But before we get started, let's thank our sponsors as always. We got our friends over at Channel Seed. They're the title sponsors for both the men's and women's shows this year. Super happy to have them on board. Great people, great Iowa State fans. We've got our friends over at Keen Project Solutions. They're celebrating 10 years of innovation, serving ag, industrial, and commercial customers with pride. So be part of a team that values your dedication and turns your expertise into impactful solutions. Make sure you visit thinkdifferent.thinkkeen.com to apply today. And then we got our buddies over at Raymond James. Thanks to Raymond James Financial Advisors Clay and Chase Natuzel, a family of lifelong Cyclone fans assisting clients with all their financial needs for over 32 years. They have offices in Carroll, Ames, and Ankeny, so make sure you connect with Clay and Chase Natuzel at raymondjames.com/Natuzel. All right, Rob, we got a busy day of basketball. Obviously, Iowa State men's basketball team is taking on Arizona State today at 1 p.m. Arizona State is 2-5 in the Big 12, but they did just take down West Virginia, so not a team that Iowa State can overlook. What can we expect from Arizona State today?
Well, it's a team that has a lot of talent and a lot of length. They're going to get a guy back, Josan Sannon, was a five-star recruit, originally committed to Arizona, flipped to Arizona State, which I'm sure made some waves in that state. He did not play against West Virginia in that impressive win. West Virginia could not make a shot. They shot like 30%, but Arizona State, you would say, probably has something to do with that. So a game that Iowa State should win, but a game that Iowa State is probably in for a fight, just like Colorado, just like all the other road games, had to come back against Texas Tech. This team is talent-wise, I think, more on par with Texas Tech than Colorado. I mean, Sannon shoots a three at about 48%. They got a great rebounder in Jaden Quaintance, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, almost 9 boards a game. And just controlled West Virginia. It got out to a great start and just stifled the Mountaineers right after they stifled the Cyclones. So it's going to be a tough one in Tempe, but I think if Iowa State does what it does best, force live ball turnovers, score off of those situations, get transition threes, transition buckets, all varieties. We're looking at a high single digits win probably, but again, no pushover, no doubt, the Sun Devils.
We're a 10-point favorite. Do you think it's a little high? You think it's going to be a little closer? I've seen some rumblings on social media that they'll take 10 points, but they think it might be a little closer.
Yeah, I think it could be. I think the question is, can you do a good job of stopping Sannon from going off? They've got a guy, Adam Miller, that shoots a three really well too. BJ Freeman's a good guard. This is a solid basketball team, but as you said from the outset, 2 wins in Big 12 play so far. So they're not finding a way, notwithstanding what happened in Morgantown. So you'd figure if Iowa State plays at least its B game, they're probably going to come out on top. But, you'd prefer they'd play their A game and get that double-digit win by a smidge that Vegas is predicting.
So obviously Taman Lipsey had a little bit of an injury. I saw that you were able to write a wonderful article on it. Could you give everyone a little could you give everyone a little insight on what he's dealing with and what we could see from him today?
Well, thank you, Leah. Thumb injury, so it's always something with Taman. I mean, they'll say the way he plays, he's going to have some. There's going to be some hurt accompanying him to the court. But he says he's okay. I mean, he obviously shot it pretty well in the last game after suffering the injury against West Virginia. So I think he's fine. I mean, I think that's Taman Lipsey in a nutshell. I mean, he's going to get hurt because of how he throws his body around. And Deshaun Jackson, said I would think that he can't just keep going, but he does. He just keeps going, and that's just what Taman Lipsey does. And that's why he's a first team all Big 12 guard and obviously a huge cog in what Iowa State is going to try to do against Arizona State and beyond. Really speed them up, force those turnovers, get offensive rebounds, punch the ball out. I expect Taman will probably be at his best in this first of 2 games in Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, they're on a little road trip. They take on Arizona next week or on Monday. And so what would a win today for their confidence or just being able to go into a lot bigger of a game on Monday? What would a win today do for them?
Yeah, I think it's just a stay the course sort of situation. I mean, the West Virginia loss was a hiccup. This team is capable of, will they? No, probably not, but running the table the rest of the way in the Big 12 just because of how good they are.
Right.
And offensively, how they can score in so many different ways. And defensively, even if they're not forcing turnovers, they're usually forcing teams to shoot poorly. So it's get out of it healthy, get out of it with a win. I think it just is a good, I guess, signpost or, just mile marker along the because they should win this game. But again, that doesn't mean they will. The Colorado game, a great game, and Colorado's struggling. I mean, you can't, chalk them up beforehand. But this is a team that Iowa State should control, should turn over 15 plus times, and if they do that, they're going to win the game.
So besides forcing some turnovers, what are 2 to 3 key things that Iowa State really needs to hone in on to make sure that they win this game?
2 to 3.
I mean, if you've got more, throw them out there.
About 29, but let's try to key in on a couple. I think to get off to a great start shooting the ball. I mean, you can't come out. West Virginia was a prime example. You can't hit a shot. You're really struggling. That just is a recipe for a tense game, a tense 40 minutes. Get Curtis Jones going, get Keyshawn going to the basket. Obviously get the bigs involved. Joshua Jefferson coming out that historic, 30-point game for him, previous career high 21. I think if they can get off to a solid start scoring the ball, even if the defense isn't completely there, I think it'll be hugely important in this game. I think on the same token, you can't let them go off from 3, and that's something they could do early. It's hard to chase them from the line because if you commit to that, you've still got bigs that can do a lot of damage and guys and guards that can drive it and finish. But I think if I'm thinking of 2 keys, you got to score it well early, and you got to prevent them from getting hot from 3 right away. And again, regardless of what the score is at the under 16 or under 12, I think they do those couple of things, they'll be in good shape.
Love it. I'm hoping, as a Cyclone fan, I'm hoping that it's not a tense 40 minutes and that I can sit back and relax and then cheer on the women's team. So it'll be great. Rob, thanks so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. And Aiden, thanks for producing. And thanks to our sponsors, Channel Seed, Keen, and Raymond James. Make sure you guys tune back in for the post game with me and Connor Ferguson. It will be great. So go Cyclones.